trying to expand globally. Long curly hair and a beard, but he ain't Toby Keith. You might have thought it's beef, but we gon' handle that. Stealing jerseys off of the wall like fuck Vanderjack. Okay, he ran with that, and now he's on the loose. Put a little bit of poison in his Jamba Juice. Go ahead and drink on that, just take another sip. Need an appraisal? Shout out to Ron Huff and Dick. The kids loving this, I know you heard it, son. The purpose is perfect, every person we learn something from. Go ahead and come along, we have a little fun. A few questions, how about 31?
Woohoo! Damn, that song is hot. I almost forget that I still have the undefeated, by far the best intro song in all of the podcast game. It's another week. It's another 31 podcast for you guys. We got an awesome episode for you guys today. As always, I just want to give a shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you for joining the Patreon. I think we got the best Patreon there is. I mean, no one's putting out more content than me. It's $7 a month, which is nothing. You guys are all rich. I think the president sent you like $1,200 or something. So if you want to join the Patreon, you can find us at the Content Factory at Patreon. We appreciate it. And I love the 40 Patreons that we have. Thank you guys for being so supportive. The other thing I can have you do, if you could, is just go subscribe, rate, comment at iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get the podcast. Give it a rating. It is so useless, but I mean, it just helps. It helps the stupid algorithms and all of that. And the one last thing I need you to do, if you can, is go to my YouTube page, Brandt Tobler Comedy .com. Just Brandt Tobler Comedy at YouTube. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can do live shows on my phone, and I think I'm at like 950. So just go there, click subscribe. It's free, and it helps. And one day I could be on our guest today's level. He is over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's like 1.4 on Instagram. He makes the coolest shit. I think his videos are so good. Pretty much any video he makes goes viral, and I think it's awesome. He was a really cool dude, and I really enjoyed talking to him, and I think you guys are going to love him. So another week of quarantine. I hope you guys are all safe and healthy and feeling all right, and I hope this makes your day a little better. Here's a brand new 31 with the incredibly talented and so damn funny Trevor Wallace. And we are back. We are still stuck inside. At least it's done snowing here in Denver. Another beautiful day. I got another great episode for you guys today. My guest today is a hilarious stand-up comedian, and I think he's putting out the best shit on the internet. You guys have seen his videos. The first one I saw was the guy who never left his hometown, which was so fucking good for Wyoming. And as you guys, I think every person listening sent me his White Claw video, and I loved it. My guest today is Trevor Wallace. How are you, Trevor?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me. You said you're from Wyoming.
Yeah, from Wyoming.
Right on. Yeah. So that video hit very close to home, if not what documentary on the city.
Yeah, it was. That's the first video I saw of yours, and I was like, "This is so fucking great," and it just reminded me of so many people back in Wyoming. And about a year ago, I figured out I have like a gluten allergy, so I only drink White Claw. So of course, when your video,
you know, it's crazy. I also have same. I have gluten. I can't eat it. It's fucked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's the worst shit ever.
Yeah, so it fucks me up, but I had no idea, and then I started dating my girlfriend, and she's like, because my face would break out, it was bad, and I just as a comic, you just tough through shit, and top of my forehead was breaking out, and I just wear a hat and cover it, and then my girlfriend's like, there's something wrong with you, so then I committed to gluten-free, and then I caught a lot of shit for it in the beginning, and then...
Dude, I've only been in like 2 years. Up until that, I was fine, but it started really messing with my stomach, but people don't want to hear it. I opened in Oklahoma. That was like the last weekend I could do before all this shit happened. But I was really trying to fine tune this gluten-free bit. And every time I brought up the fact that I was gluten-free in Oklahoma, I got booed. I was like, all right, guys, this is it's like booing a diabetic kid. I didn't fucking pick this life, you know?
Yeah. Well, I tell the story about, I'm the same way. So whenever I drink White Claw, people talk shit to me and they're like, oh, you don't drink beer. And I'm like, well, I'd love to drink beer, but when I do, it caused me to like violently shit blood out of my asshole. And then dudes are like, oh, it's cool. I get it. I get it then.
Exactly. That shuts people up real quick. Once they find out that you're doing it for health and like for your body and not because like you just want to go on some random LA diet, then they're like, oh shit, my bad. Can I like donate to you? Do you need money? Like, what's good?
Yeah, that was the thing. Part of it came when I left LA. So I think when I got back out here, people thought it was like an LA thing. I was like, but then everybody got on board. The same shit happened when I first came back from LA when I was living out there, and I was so like pro Uber. They're like, you're so LA. I was like, just wait, it'll fucking change your life.
You're like, this will save you so many $10,000 checks for DUI.
Yeah, no, no shit. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna fire off some questions. We'll start question number one. Where are you from, and where's the best place to eat in your hometown?
Okay, so there's two answers for this. I was born in Illinois, but I only lived there for like 2 years, so I don't really count that. But I grew up in Ventura County, which is a suburb, like an hour outside of Los Angeles. And I would say my favorite place to eat is a city called Camarillo. There's a Mexican spot called Ola's, which I think is still there. They got a chimichanga that'll just clog your body up for a couple of days, but it is worth it. I'd say Ola's chimichangas are the move.
That's the spot. Yeah, that's one. Yeah. I bet, man. That's one of the things I miss about LA is just the good Mexican food. But I don't know if you ran into this, but the like shittier Mexican spot that I'd go to in LA, the food was better. But man, they'd always jack my credit card information.
Really?
Without fail, I'd get like a burrito and I'd go home, and then half an hour later it'd be like $260 at the Mac store in Santa Monica, and I'd be like, God damn it, every single time.
Exactly. I mean, that was the biggest sign. Was, you know, when it was like, it was almost a blessing to like cash only. You're like, okay, cool. My bank account info is safe. But like you said, just out $400. And you're like, I mean, they were good tacos, but like $400.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't $400 tacos.
Yeah, the Mexican food is fantastic.
Yeah, I do miss that for sure. What was your favorite toy as a child?
Ooh, favorite toy? Probably G.I. Joe's, because that's the manliest I've ever felt in my life, was being able to control a guy with a six-pack abs, and probably that. Yeah, probably G.I. Joe's, yeah. That or Tech Decks. Tech Decks were, I found myself with a mini skateboard forever. Those were great.
What did you do on your 21st birthday?
My 21st birthday fell on a Monday, and my birthday is December 30th, so people are, it's weird, because people just were with their family for Christmas, so they want to get hammered, but they're also like, well, the next day is New Year's Eve, so we don't really care about you, Trevor. But it was a Monday, and me and some of my close friends from my hometown, I was back in college at the time, we got like a small little limo, and we went out in Santa Barbara and got hammered. And there's nobody out there. It was Monday, so... But from what I remember, it was a great time, and one of my best friends fought somebody for me while I was peeing in the street. So that's how I know who my best man is at my wedding.
Wait, he like fist fought somebody?
Yeah, somebody said something to me while I was peeing in the street, and then my friend was like, you know, he'll do what he wants, and then that guy was like, oh, who are you to say? And then he just went after it. But that guy at the time was also playing college football for a university, so I think. He was going to fight somebody regardless about it or not.
Yeah, I got a couple of those Wyoming friends that are like, well, we struck out with the girls, now we have to fight someone. I'm like,
exactly.
All right,
either
man.
Pussy or fist fight.
Yeah,
so,
you're in your late 30s. You can't be doing that anymore. But there was plenty of times I was like, oh, here we go. This is not good.
Yeah, I mean, I felt very protected. I had no idea what was even going on, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was the same way. I had a lot of tough friends that, because I'm not tough at all. I would have got murdered, but luckily my friends were always looking for a fight, so that saved me.
Right.
When's the first time you asked somebody for an autograph?
I asked somebody for an autograph?
Yeah.
I remember a funny story is I found out Pete Rose was at a Toyota dealership in Oxnard, which is like 20 minutes from me, when I was like 7 or 8, and then my mom drove me to go get Pete Rose's autograph, and he was just hanging out, no line. He was just talking to the employee. He was just chilling at the front desk, got his autograph, and then just drove home. So,
oh, really? Did he charge you?
Yeah, I still have it.
Oh, you still do?
Yeah, I still have it in my hometown room. I don't know if he charged me. I want to say it was free.
Yeah, that's good. Well, shit, when you're 8, it doesn't matter. You don't pay for anything anyway, so.
No, and then I grew up and found out what a fucking reckless guy Pete Rose was, and I was like, that guy's pretty sick.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always see him whenever I'm in Vegas. It doesn't matter. It seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
whatever casino I'm walking through, I'm like, oh shit, there's Pete Rose signing autographs.
Yeah, the unofficial Vegas mascot.
Yeah. What's the most recent thing you've learned?
I'd say kind of stick to your roots. If it worked before, it'll work. Because like what happened for me is I make so much videos and stuff, but when all this pandemic stuff came out, everybody's like, how can we make pandemic related content? And I felt like I was just making shit just to make it. Like it wasn't stuff that I cared about. It was more so like, oh, this is a trend. I should hop on it from my point of view. And I wasn't really having fun doing it. And then I started making the stuff that I used to make, whether there was a pandemic or it wasn't. And I really started enjoying that. So
Yeah.
kind of stick with the roots of what, same thing for stand-up, you know, kind of like whatever. You can feel yourself going like, wow, that bit was not me. I'm just talking and talk. That wasn't from a personal thing. So I think just kind of stick to your roots and it kind of will lead you a lot farther than trying to figure out some other truth.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. And it's been unfortunate because I have seen a couple comics I really enjoy do some really shitty shit during this. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to do that. We already respect you. Like, I know we all want to put out content.
Draft. Yeah.
But I'm like, you didn't have to do these. But
right.
we won't name them. What's the weirdest thing you've ever had happen with a roommate?
With a roommate, I had a bunk bed in college in our fraternity, and I think just hearing him jerk off above in the middle of the night, kind of weird because you're like, it's like you don't really say anything like, hey, knock it off.
Yeah.
Because then you don't want to acknowledge it, so you kind of just slowly go back to sleep to the sweet ASMR noises of your top bunk just rubbing one out. You kind of just hope he just finishes quick and somewhere and not off the side of his bed, you know, because then it's just smelling outside for everybody.
That's I don't know how you handle that because you don't want to say I wouldn't want to say anything and have that weird conversation, but
yeah, because I feel like if I yelled something like, hey, knock it off up there, he wouldn't say anything. But he'd probably be quiet and pretend he was asleep. So probably that. But then again, once he did it, I was like, well, I guess now I know where the levels are at, so now it's okay for me to do it in the future. Yeah, and definitely had to
payback. Yeah. What's the craziest or weirdest thing you've ever done to impress a girl?
Let's see. Oh boy, the craziest thing I've done to impress a girl. That's tricky. I don't know if I've done any there's got to be something, but I'm trying to just drawing blanks here. But probably. Oh well. A funny thing is, my current girlfriend, when we first started dating, I was doing the gluten-free stuff, and I didn't want to tell her. I was like our second date in. I was like, she's too hot. Like I don't want to be like, I'm a little gluten-free bitch, you know, like. I'll get the cauliflower crust pizza. So we ordered some appetizers, and it was like, she was like, oh, they have really good deep fried cauliflower here, or buffalo cauliflower. And I was like, sure, that sounds good. And it was just coated in bread. And she's just like, can you finish the rest? I can't. And I was just thrown down. And the whole night, we went to Universal Studios when they do like the Halloween shit. And the whole night, my stomach was in excruciating pain the whole time. And then she bought me a beer, and then I drank that. And it was my stomach was just so fucked up just from the mixture of like the bread and the wheat from the beer. And later I was like, when she found out I was gluten free, she's like, but what about all those? I was like, yeah, I just fucking manned it up just for you, just for the slim chance I'll get some pussy after this. And probably that. Yeah. It's not like a flex or a brag, like, oh, I rented a Maserati. I'm only hurting myself here. You know? So but probably that.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I dealt with that when we first started dating because I didn't know I had the allergy, and then so we'd go out to dinner, and then like halfway through I'd have to shit because it would like the gluten just makes me have to shit quick. So then I would go shit, for like 15, 20 minutes during like our first 5 dates. And
Oh,
my
yeah.
girlfriend's like, does he have a drug problem? Does he have a wife? And she was so curious what I was doing.
So many variables in that.
And it was great.
You're gonna give me stuff. Yeah, that's crazy.
And it was great because, you know, I was just a broke comic. So I was half the time I was like, I took her out, I was going to pay for it. But she got so annoyed by the waitress coming back to check on it that she picked up like 3 or 4 tabs. I was like, this was kind of a genius way of getting out of these $200 sushi tabs. But then
the waiter's like, "Are you here alone, man?" She goes, "No, I'm with. Look, here, bring me the check. There's 2 meals on it." And sure enough, there you go.
Yeah, but I've been there, man. I still, I'm pretty strong about telling everybody, but I have to admit, like a couple times I've went out to dinner with like important people or people I like think are cool, and then I just ate whatever they ordered. Like if they're like, "We'll order for the table," I'm like, I'm not gonna be that dude. And then I get home, my girlfriend's like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, I don't know. I just don't want to be that gluten-free little bitch. I could tough it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing when I was in New York, and somebody was like, "We got to get Joe's pizza," and I was like, "We sure do.
Yeah.
Let's get the pizza."
Yeah.
And
it's worth it, though.
It's fucked up because at the time you're eating it, you're like, "I got this. This is great." And then like 15 minutes later, you're like, "That was a terrible idea."
Yeah, when I eat it, I'm like, God, this is so. I mean, I've adjusted to even like gluten-free pizza, and I found the kinds I like. But man, those first couple months, I would get drunk and I'd be like, "Fuck it, I just want to eat some regular pizza with regular people."
Yeah, I'm gonna just sleep off this pain.
Yeah. Do you collect anything?
Not a crazy like sneakerhead, but I do appreciate a good pair. Sometimes I'll just like buy a pair just to be like, I'll wear those once in my life, but I kind of just want them. Probably that. That's probably, I'd say that. I really like old vintage t-shirts too. That's a cool thing. I like just like a random, just, whether it's a band t-shirt or just like a random like old school like Camel cigarette shirt. So I'd say those two.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but they got too fucking expensive. I used to go hit all the thrift stores and I'd have all these dope shirts, and now people are getting them. And then I remember going to a couple stores in LA. Those vintage shirts are like $100. I'm like, I'll pass. But
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, in LA they're insanely expensive. But I used to just in high school, me and my friend would just go to the thrift store just after school, just because we were bored. And like we'd just find like random like Miller Lite Hawaiian t-shirts and be like, "This is the sickest thing ever." So I just always like doing it. So I'd say vintage shit is real cool for me.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I just like the soft. I love just an old soft vintage shirt. Which I'll just tell you this, just backfired on me. I had this old like Philadelphia Eagles, like just soft dope like old shirt. But I'm a diehard Broncos fan. I did a photo shoot with it, not thinking of anything. I was just wearing it because I liked it. And then one day that became the cover of my book. And now I've taken so much shit from all my friends. They're like, "We thought you were a Bronco fan, so just be careful what you are shooting it." Because I had no idea at the time I'm going to have to defend this fucking shirt for the rest of my life. But it was $1 and it was so fucking comfy.
Who knew $1 would bring you so much trouble?
Yeah, no shit. Where's the worst place you've ever had to sleep?
I would say a park. What are those called? Like gymnasium? What
The
what
gym?
are those called? No, a park. Like where all the slides are and all that.
Oh, like a jungle gym, or like
I guess a jungle gym. Yeah, and like what were we? We're probably like freshmen in high school, but we were just like we had a bunch of weed and we're like, we should just go to the park to smoke. And then we're like, sometime this summer, we should just sleep here. So me and my friend Cody went there with a bunch of weed, and we had invited like this one girl over. And then we smoked, and then she left. And then we're just like, all right, well, let's just fucking sleep here. And then you wake up at 5 a.m., there's dogs barking, there's sprinklers going everywhere, and you're like, this is the worst idea ever.
Yep. It's one of those, seems like a great idea at the time. Then you're like, I did similar stuff, but like you said, you don't even realize, the sun's going to come up and this is going to be fucking awful in the morning.
Yeah. You're like sleeping on a friend's trampoline growing up too. You're like, that'll be great. And then you forget that mist is a thing and dew on the grass. You just wake up on a sopping blanket.
Yep. What moment in life were you the most scared?
I was most scared. Probably a few maybe I would say I've had some of like bigger shows where I was just like nervous, where I felt like I don't deserve this, I shouldn't be here, that type of stuff. I forget what it's called. It starts with a P, I believe.
What, when you're nervous before a show?
Imposter syndrome.
Oh, imposter syndrome? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just like, I think it was in New York. It was like Gramercy Theater. It was like this theater out there. My name was on the billboard. It was like in giant letters, said Trevor Wallace, sold out. And I was just like, it's just like so much like it was the same as any show. And obviously the second you get to the stage, you're back in that mode. But leading up to it, I was just like, this is too much. This is like, I don't know how to like process what's going on. Just stuff like that, really.
Yeah. But that's awesome. You sold out the theater, and that's an honor for sure.
Yeah, it was dope. It was just weird to have the feeling of being scared versus like I should be celebrating this moment. But I guess that's the art of a performer. It's good to be nervous instead of being like, oh, I got this, I'll just wing it.
Yeah. No, I agree, but I'm sure it'll get easier. That first one, though, the first big theater show, I can only imagine being a little terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it was all fun, but leading up to it, so fucking nerdy.
What's the one embarrassing story that your family always tells about you?
I think one that first comes to mind is like, I think like if I had a documentary that came out, my mom would probably tell the story about how like I was a huge Elvis fan as a kid, and like when I would go to Supercuts to get shitty little haircuts, I would like tell them like, "Oh, can you leave the sideburns?" Which there was no sideburns. It was 7. It was just hair. So, like, I was obsessed with Elvis growing up. I was like, he's just like the ultimate performer. And then I was like Elvis for Halloween as a kid. My mom spray painted a jean jacket gold. So
that's awesome.
Probably that. I still have the vest in my like childhood closet room, but I just thought he was like the man. And then I grew up and find out he just did a bunch of drugs and died on a toilet. I was like, well, he's still kind of the man in my eyes.
No, he's still the man. So wait, your parents just liked Elvis, or that's how you got into him?
I think so. I don't know how I got introduced. I'd have to ask my mom that, but I think essentially it was something along the lines of like, I think I probably heard some of his music and I just like thought we looked like, and I was like, this guy fucks. But you know, my 7th grade brain, that was like 7, so it's probably like this guy is cool. I don't know what I thought. I just thought he like his whole aura was like insane.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, that was my next question. Anyway, you might have answered it, but what's the best costume you've ever worn?
Let's see. That was a pretty. I think that might be the best one. My mom has a photo of it somewhere for sure. People used to say I look like Macklemore a lot, and I remember at college one year for Halloween, I went to Chico up in far North California, and I just dressed up like Macklemore, this giant like oversized thrift jacket, and I had his hair cut like him, and he was like, "Oh, fucking Macklemore," and I was like, people got my costume. That was like the first time ever anybody has guessed my costume, so that was kind of a cool moment. Most times, like people are like, "What are you?" You're like, "I'm a sexy fire hydrant." What the fuck? So,
yeah, that's the rewarding part when it actually comes together and people recognize it.
Exactly. I was so pumped, but it was a bunch of drunk Chico college kids. So, yeah, probably that.
Yeah,
between that or Elvis.
No, that's a good one. What was your first like crazy LA night when you're like, I can't believe I'm with this person or at this person's house? Or
yeah, I mean, in the past year, it's been like a lot of those. But like my first job when I moved here, I used to work for Russell Simmons. So meeting him was pretty wild, and then going to his house was like pretty surreal. And like when he's your boss and you see him, you know, a couple times a month, it becomes more normal. But then when I went to his house and saw so many plaques on the wall, I was like, oh, he's like Russell Simmons. He's the dude.
Yeah.
Probably that, or even something random like I was with Craig Conant, if you know him, and we were at the comedy store. He's like, "You want to go get food with me and Dalia?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "All right, come back. We're in Dalia's car." And I'm just supposed to know what Dalia's car is. And I walked back to luckily Craig was like, "Yeah, hop on in." So even just like going to Swingers, which is just a place everybody, I think they closed, unfortunately. through the pandemic, but even just like riding around with like Dalia and shit like that. Or Nick Swartzen told me he was a fan, and that fucked me up.
Yeah.
His special, Seriously Who Farted, was like one of my favorite specials growing up. So when he was like, "Oh, I've seen your stuff," I was like, "Whoa, this is wild." So
that's awesome.
like that, really.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna ask who's like the most random person that's ever, because I mean everybody in the world's seen your stuff. Has it been people like that? You're like, holy shit, I can't believe this person's watched my videos.
Yeah, random. Like this happened last week. I did the Laugh Factory like live stream where they're just streaming on the Instagram to like whoever's watching. There's no audience, but Craig Robinson is playing on the keyboard, and before I went up just to riff or whatever on stage, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a fan," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But a lot of times in my head, I thought it was going to be like, "Oh, good set" type. Like he was just saying it to say it, and then he referenced the video I did, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like Craig Robinson is like, so that was pretty wild.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I would say like that. But you never know who's really watching. Wayne Brady followed me the other day. I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, I was saying that's a good question. Who's the most random person to follow you that you were like, "Holy shit"?
Yeah, I would say maybe Wayne Brady. Because like I watched so much of him growing up, that was like pretty wild. Yeah, it's just like my brain is like, what the hell?
No, that's awesome. Well, I got to go back to Russell though. Russell seems so intimidating. Well, you know what? I'll ask you this question. Russell might be the answer, but who have you met that made you the most nervous?
I would say Russell or Snoop Dogg.
Snoop?
Maybe. Because Russell brought Snoop into the office one day, and I mean, the guy is like, he's tall as fuck. So I'm looking at his height, and I go to like dap him up, say, just give him a quick little handshake. I totally fucked that up, and then I had to like show him where the elevators work. At the time, I was like a younger employee there, and it's like I fucked up the handshake, and then I was like, "Oh, you can follow me." No, I almost felt like Mr. Snoop, but I was like Snoop, so it was just like probably that encounter was pretty awkward. Fucking up a handshake with Snoop Dogg was pretty interesting. But meeting Russell was pretty wild because he does have this like, he would just walk into the office and just start yelling, but like it would be like a friendly yell. But at the time, I'd have no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I can't imagine, man. I'm a huge fan, but I would definitely be nervous coming up to him because I feel like he's that dude. Like if you did fuck up a handshake or you just said something wrong, he would just blast you and just be like, "Man, what the fuck you?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I fucked it up."
He would just like almost like walk down because where I worked, it was probably like 50 employees. And he would kind of just like walk down the road. And if he saw somebody new, he'd just say, "Who the fuck are you?" And then he said that to me. I was like, "Oh, I do like," because at the time I was in like the marketing side. I was just doing the social media for this company. I was like, "Oh, I just post social media." And then he like broke character for a second. He's like, "Oh, can you show me how to do this on my phone?" And then there I am like showing Russell Simmons how to like share something to his story. And then he like calls me one night later. He's like, "Hey, how do you do that thing again with the story?" And I'm just like, that's pretty wild. Just because he just saw me as an employee. I think a lot of times people like him forget how big they are. So he's like, "I'm just a normal guy. Teach me how to share something on my Instagram." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's always the craziest thing to me is when famous people act like normal to you, and then you're like, "Wait, man, you're fucking famous."
Yeah, exactly.
I've met a couple famous people that introduce themselves. I'm like, "Man, I know who you are. When I met Chappelle, he's like, 'Hey, I'm Dave,' and I was like, I'm fucking trying to not drool on your feet, man." And I just thought it was so cool that he introduced himself like a regular person.
Yeah, same. That happened to me with Tom Green. He goes, "Hey, I'm Tom." I'm like, it's weird to be like, "Yeah, I know." So you kind of just play it off. You're like, "Oh, cool, I'm Sub." That's kind of what I realized with LA is like, you just really have to underplay everything. And so when you do meet these people, you're just like, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, Joe? Oh, Rogan." "Oh, yeah. So
yeah,
it is really interesting how down you have to play everything.
No, for sure.
Jeremy Piven was kind of interesting. That was like one where he also was like, "Hey, I'm Jeremy." I was like, yeah.
Was he cool?
Yeah, I only passed by him at the Laugh Factory real quick, but yeah, he was in a conversation and then went out of his way to say, "Hey," I guess. But we didn't really have a conversation. He was like, "Hey, it's nice to meet you, I'm Jeremy." But he seemed pretty
That's
Pretty
cool.
straightforward.
Yeah, I've
heard different things from the clubs, but he's nice to me. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've heard different stuff, but I'm gonna wait till I meet him myself and judge. But I say it on here all the time. It seems like the bigger the comedian in our world, just the cooler they are, man.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I'm sure you've been in it for a good amount, so you've met and a lot of these people, and that's kind of what you realize is like
Yeah,
they're just doing what we're doing on a more elevated level. I think.
yeah. What city do you hope you never have to go to again?
I would say for stand up or just in general.
Just in either one.
Oh, let me think. I'll do two answers. I went to my dad's hometown, probably like 5 years ago. He's just like, "Come on, kids, it'll be fun." And I think it was some reunion for him, high school wise.
Uh-huh.
But it was like an hour outside of Columbus in Defiance, and there was like 5,000 people there. It was just like it was a very weird experience. And like all they had was a Walmart. Like that was the thing to do. It was just odd. I did not. Yeah, we just we didn't mesh out there. And then I'd say for stand up, maybe I would say Sacramento. The shows in Sacramento are great. Sacramento's a great comedy city, but for whatever reason, we stopped like an hour outside of. I think it was Vacaville. So not Sacramento. I'll say Vacaville. It's an hour outside of Sacramento, California's capital. Our car got broken into at a Chick-fil-A when we were heading up there for a one-nighter. So, and it was a rental car too. So it was just a whole ordeal.
Yeah, I did a bunch of shows up that way, and I hope I never have to do them again. They were they were pay the rent gigs, but man, they were fucking brutal.
Yeah, the Sacramento crowds, not to be confused, great crowds and fun as fuck club, but it just some of those cities leading up to it, you're just like at a Chick-fil-A, the Lord's property is where my car got broken into.
Yeah, it's supposed to be safe there of all places.
It's broad daylight too.
Well, that leads perfect to my next question. What is your go-to fast food order?
I think for me, it's really it might even be, I would say In-N-Out. I really like with eating like this, it's really like the easiest thing is like just a burger, but get a protein style with the lettuce around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do that, but I'll get like 3 patties in. So, it fills you up and you get a side of fries. And good to go. I'd say that. But up until I was not eating like bread and that gluten shit, probably just the Chick-fil-A classic, not the one with the lettuce and the cheese and all that extra shit, just the OG with a random pickle off on the side.
Yeah.
That was a solid meal for me.
Oh, I miss that so much. I
know.
That got me a lot of times, man. And I used to do there too. I can't do it because I can't do the soup, but I used to just get the nuggets and then just put them in the soup and just have monster chicken noodle soup. And I miss that too.
Oh, that's smart.
Too much gluten.
The hardest part is going to the places I used to love and I guess, I don't know what the word is, but kind of like going to a place you used to love and getting something that's just not what it used to be. You get like the unbreaded nuggets at Chick-fil-A with all your friends having good shit. And you're like, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this myself?
Yeah, it is torture for sure. What's the best concert and sporting event you've ever been to?
The best concert I've been to, I'm a big Coachella guy, as basic as it is. I've just seen some cool stuff there. It was just so neat just because we saw like The Weeknd, who is incredible live, and he brought out Kanye, and then like the next night we saw AC/DC. So like just seeing such opposites was really neat. Also, I've seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was the first concert I went to, and that was pretty epic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then for sporting events, luckily I recently got to do a show at Duke, and whenever you fly East Coast or whatever, you gotta leave like the day earlier sometimes for that shit. So I got in and was able to get tickets to a Duke game when they were playing Florida State, and they were both ranked at the time. And where they play is super small, so it's like the energy in there is crazy. They only sell a certain amount of tickets, but I got to go see that Duke game and sit relatively close to courtside, and I would say that was probably
Yeah.
One thing I wanted in college was either I definitely wanted like a D1 school for football or for basketball because I just wanted like a sports school.
Uh-huh.
And I ended up going to school in the Bay Area in San Jose. And we were D1, but we were pretty trash across the board. So
Yeah.
we had sports, but like sports had an asterisk next to it essentially. So
Yeah.
seeing Duke, like all the students are like so spirited, faces painted blue. That was like for me, that was kind of my college experience all in one. So I'd say that was definitely the craziest sport.
Yeah. It's I
For me.
go every year to see a Duke game, and I tell people it's
Oh,
the
yeah?
best. It is because I grew up the same way, and I was just a Duke guy because I was a little white point guard, and they were the only ones that had little white guys. So I always wanted to go to Duke, but seeing a
Yeah.
game there is, I mean, there is nothing like it. Just everything you described, the energy. It's crazy, man. Every time I'm there, I just get the chills even thinking about when the band starts playing Kanye's All of the Lights, and they have all the choreographed dance, and the place is just. I always tell people
Yeah,
this
it
too.
was-
If you're going to go out there, go to, because a lot of people I know go to Carolina game and a Duke game. I'm like, go to Carolina first, because if you go to the Duke game first, then you go to Carolina the next night, you'll be like, this shit sucks.
It's not going to be the
Yeah.
expectation.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, it was everything it lived up to. You know, because when you see it on TV, it's one thing, but when you're in it, it was.
Yeah, it's incredible.
very
Well, that whole campus is dope. So you performed on Duke at Duke.
I did. Yeah, that was like one of the last shows I got to do before this whole Corona thing hit.
Yeah, that campus is just incredible.
Yeah, it was.
That's
It made
awesome.
me miss not going to school like that. But it's neat to go to some of these places and be like, oh, this shit is good for you guys.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm jealous of Bill Burr. How it seems like he's just scheduling gigs around sporting events he wants to go to. I'm like, man, that would be fun.
Yeah, I've heard him say that. Like is this like if we want to go to a Notre Dame game, like that's how we do it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool because then it gave me something to riff on up top.
Yeah.
It had to be vice versa, But me just being a random white kid fuckboy, I looked like half the Duke bench. So it was just funny to just kind of lean into that a little bit and then,
that's so.
just kind of talk about it. But it was a lot of fun.
That's dope. Well, where's your favorite place that you've got to perform?
The crowds for me that are my favorite so far have got to be Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like my perfect demo of people. They're just there for a good time. It's close enough to LA where it's not like if I say something, they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
They've just been the most fun. So every time I perform in Phoenix, it's been a lot of fun. San Diego is another one of those cities that's always great. And then sometimes you just get some random cities where you're like, I don't know why this city is great, but it was awesome. Some Oklahoma shows are awesome, and Minnesota, some of those places. So kind of just, I've been pleasantly surprised by a lot of places, and I think Phoenix is my favorite spot. And I think later on down the road when I'm, special ready, which give it some years, love to do it in Phoenix or San Diego. I think.
Yeah, that's two great spots. Let me see here. What's the weirdest or craziest thing you've ever done for money?
There's got to be some good answers here. This is definitely illegal, but I did it. In college, my roommate's friend, this guy also went to San Jose, but he didn't live in the house. He was like, I helped ship weed for this guy at a post office. And all you do is you like quadruple seal it, vacuum seal it to the max essentially. And then you just go and you drop it off. And the hardest part is just looking nonchalant about it. But I think he was like, yeah, I'll give you like $500 if you just go and do it.
Oh, shit.
Because I think he was pulling in a good amount of money, but it was like 2 like freezer bags.
Yeah.
More, but he drove me there. I walked in, I shipped it, and then I walked out, and I was like, I could have legit gone to jail for that.
Yeah.
So, and this was before weed was even legal. This was probably 7 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, I mean, $500 in college. You're like,
Hell
I can
yeah.
fucking drop out right now. So.
Yeah. Well, have you ever been arrested?
In like bitch ways. Like I've been in the back of a cop car, but not like mugshots and all that stuff. But it's just like stupid stuff, like in high school. Like
Yeah.
we were out past curfew, and people just doing that stuff. But no,
Nothing.
not arrested.
That's good. That is good. What song always makes you happy when you hear it?
I would do September by Earth, Wind and Fire, or what is it? There's one I can find it real quick, but it was like I was just like so down and just so drained doing a show, and I listened to this song, and it just brought me right back to it. Get Down on It by who is that? Get Down on. Oh, Cool in the Gang. Get Down on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Like you can't be mad during this song. So it's
no,
it's just like a good jam. But I think that and then September, Earth, Wind and Fire. I don't know why. I just love hearing that. So
what about
those are two songs.
What about Elvis? You got a favorite Elvis song?
It's funny because I don't really. I mean, obviously the classic stuff, but I haven't listened to his music since I literally. I mean, I think probably as a kid it was Hound Dog or something like that. But I haven't listened to that. I think I was more just impressed by his persona.
Yeah.
Growing up than his music. But I'm on Spotify and it says he still has 11.5 million monthly listeners.
That's incredible.
Somebody's getting that bread is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Even selling this is insane. Elvis face covering for Corona right now. If you go on Spotify, he's just selling. I don't know who's getting this money, but it's a picture of his mouth for a face mask.
Oh, really?
This is 2020. If you go on his Spotify right now, they have like a little section that says merch, and it's just Elvis face mask. So I don't know who's getting that money, but that is wild.
Yeah, there's a granddaughter somewhere that is getting paid.
Oh yeah,
for sure. What's the best gift you've ever given or received?
I think the best gift for me was when I was in college one year for Mother's Day, and my grandma she passed away, but she used to teach at a community college up there, and she had been there for a long time, and the school really appreciated her, so they gave her a fountain on the campus, and it kind of was just sitting there and kind of just built up decay over time. And I think the night before Mother's Day, I went and cleaned it out and just brought like a bunch of sponge and water and just like took all the leaves out of it. There wasn't running water, but I just like made it look good. And I just sent a picture to my mom on Mother's Day. And I think like I'll never be able to beat that.
Yeah.
Like, I should have saved that. I should have saved that until it was at least like rock bottom. So she's like, well, okay, here's your rent. But I did that out of the blue, and that like stopped my mom's world. That was like the night she was like speechless over it. It was like crazy. So
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's creativity, I think, are the best gifts, or just thinking that's just a great idea.
Yeah, my mom's never been too big on like materialistic things. So had I bought her a gift card to like Williams Sonoma, she's like, "The fuck are you trying to tell me to cook more?" So I think something like this, it was a little bit of both. It was like remembering that the fountain was there was impressive, and then cleaning it out. Like I think she was just stoked overall.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's the best. That's the best gift we've ever had on here for sure. That's cool. What's the greatest physical pain you've ever felt?
Physical pain. I remember one time as a kid, I was at like a Pier 1 Imports or some shit with my mom, and they had like a wreath that you'd like put in a kitchen, and it was made out of all like chili peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing, like a giant, it almost was like a mini inner tube almost size. And I remember touching it, and then I rubbed my eyes in the car, and it was like no pain. I couldn't even see out of both eyes. I was just screaming. And when you're that young, you're not going to look at the logistics and be like, okay, just breathe. We'll be to the hospital soon. I think I was just yelling, and my mom's like, well, this is all your fucking fault. Like, you shouldn't have, why are you touching shit? So
yeah,
I would say that was the biggest pain. I haven't broken any bones or anything, but that one fucked me up bad.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I bet.
Bad.
Who do you call when you're having a bad day?
Oof. Who do I call? I think the right answer is my girlfriend. But I'm a pretty introverted dude to the point where if I'm having a bad day, I just kind of want to be alone, and I just kind of like mentally just let it digest. But that or
Yeah,
maybe just
I'm with you on that. Just a long walk by myself is how I usually deal with it.
yeah, like I don't work out an insane amount, but sometimes I'll say I should just go to the gym and I'll kind of just feel better. But yeah, because if I were to call somebody and then tell them why I was having a bad day, it probably the logistics wouldn't meet up. They'd be like, wait a second, you're mad because the video did how many views? If you think like something stupid like that. So it almost like talk itself out or something. Or if I just felt depressed, I'd be like, wait, why am I depressed? Like things are all right. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So
yeah.
I tend to think that my problems are always way worse going on in the world, so I don't want to bring other people like down or like think that I have it bad, because in reality I've been doing very fine for myself in terms of just like what could be worse.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's what everyone always says. It could always be worse, and I'm like, yeah. When I do think about that, it could be much worse. So I try not to complain too much.
Exactly right.
Who's the coolest person's phone number you have saved in your phone?
Person's phone number. Oof. Probably somebody like, it might be Russell. Well, let me just do a quick little scroll just to see. I mean, that's probably got to be so hard to remember all that, but
Russell's gone, right? Isn't he out of the country now?
Yeah, from what I remember, he got caught up in some quote unquote Hollywood stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he just kind of dipped to Bali after that. So I think he's doing all right over there. I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, coolest phone number I have probably be Russell off top. But other than that, I mean,
no, Russell's a good one for sure.
Yeah, I'd say that, yeah.
What's the best party you've ever been to?
There was one party in high school that was like very, like, I think it was a movie called like Project X or something, but it literally was like a movie script where there's one kid who was, everybody kind of knew him, but he wasn't really a popular kid, but like people knew of him. He made a Facebook group for like 30 people and was like, hey, and he lived in the hills, like 15 minutes away from the city we all went to school. So, and his dad was like in Hollywood, like he had money for sure. He like made a Facebook group of like 30 people. He was like, hey, my parents are out of town. I'm having a party. Don't invite anybody to his Facebook group. Of course, everybody does the complete opposite of that. And it was, like a high school party was good when college kids are showing up. You know? So it was like people from other schools were there. College kids were there, and it was just like everybody was there. The guy had like a pond in the backyard. Somebody at like one point was like running with a turtle over their head. The bench, like a stone bench that weighed at least 150 pounds, was just thrown in the pond. It was just like everybody in the city was there, which was, and the kid like lived so deep in the hills that cops never came. And it was just so out of this kid's control that I think he just gave up and was like, fuck it, I'll just deal with the repercussions. But it was just like everybody had a story from that night. So, and then to be like 16 or 17, that was probably that night. Other than that, I mean, just some stupid college ones were probably great. But that one.
That was the one.
Like yeah, that one was just so like, looking back on it, literally just like one of those like cheesy movies you'd see.
Well, here's something I always want to know. Because I remember you made some shirts for the White Claw thing, and then it took off, but then they got pissed at you. Are you like cool with White Claw? Or are they still? I mean, you gave them so much fucking promotion.
Yeah, there's like beef, I'd say. So pretty summary of it was so I like altered the wording and letter and the logo, because I was under the assumption that if you did that, it would beat the parody law. But essentially what got me in trouble is it made them look like they were promoting reckless drinking. Essentially, in the same way that somebody would sue Starbucks for the cup not saying warning, whatever's in here is hot. It would be like if somebody got pulled over for DUI and they're like, but I thought there was no laws when you drank Claw. Like, as insane as that sounds, somebody would try to make money off it. And a perfect example that my lawyer told me was like, that's why when Red Bull says Red Bull has wings, there's 3 I's wings. So it's WIIINGS. That way it's not a real, it's a fictional thing. It's not real. So, like, you can't jump off a building and be like, but it said to give me wings, because wings with 3 I's isn't a word.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's like such minute like loopholes you can get in. So pretty much, they were just scared that somebody would sue them under the thought that somebody was going to do something dumb with it, and they just made me cancel all the orders of shirts that I was about to ship out.
Which sucked. But so you didn't get them made yet? You were ready to make them?
No. So that's, had I had them made, they probably just would have sent me a cease and desist and be like, all right, stop selling these, and then we'll call it. But it was through a print on demand app where you collect as many sales as you can in like a certain time frame.
Yeah.
I think I did like a week, and then they ship them out. But it did an insane amount of orders. But the website had like a clock on the page of like, get these shirts now, they're only available for another day. And I saw that, so they're kind of like, hey, we know you haven't shipped these out yet, so yank it down, or else we'll have to get illegal with it. So bittersweet. You learned a lot from it. I mean, I honestly just made the shirts overnight, just messing around through a buddy who's a graphic designer. I didn't think the shirts would do that well, but
I remember hearing the story and being like, God, I felt so bad for you, because I was like, he makes a shirt, he's probably about to sell a fucking million of them. I would be counting my money and then get a lawyer call, like, oh, it's always too good to be true.
It was the wildest probably 48 hours of my life in terms of money-wise. I posted on Monday morning, this was right after 4th of July weekend. Monday morning I posted, they start doing crazy. By the nighttime, I'm up like 4,000 sales, and I'm like, this is insane. Tuesday comes around, there are like 7,000 sales, and I'm at this point, I'm like, this is, I can retire. This is where I cash out. I'm gonna move somewhere in Tennessee and call it a quit. And then I get a call from their legal team Tuesday. Then I'm talking with my people all day Tuesday, and then Wednesday morning, ultimately, I deleted the campaign. And it was just, because I mean, there was that side of me that was like, well, let's see if we can fight it. A little bit pulled up in court, but I was like, I'm an internet comedian, dude, I'm 26. I'm like, I'm not trying to sacrifice all my time to try and make this work. But it led to a different brand deal with Natty Light. So,
oh really?
The whole So when one door opens, another one closes. Type shit. So
did they?
It actually got.
Oh, go ahead.
It actually got press, which was crazy. That was like my first time really seeing my name in like press. It was about the White Claw stuff, and then Natty Light reached out, and so did Truly. If you had those.
Yeah.
Because when that broke, I had to put out an announcement saying, "Sorry, I can't sell these shirts. Here's why." And then within that day, I had offers from Truly and Natty Light, which is kind of crazy and smart on their moves, to be honest.
Yeah, that's dope. Well, it's a shame that White Claw didn't appreciate what you did for him, because I'm sure that had to. I mean, I got that video sent to me so many fucking times. Everyone I know loved it. I mean, it was so much free press for them. I can't imagine if they just put a dollar amount on how much press you got them, because I think that's when White Claw really started to pop. Honestly, like we were talking about, I caught a lot of shit for drinking it until that came out, until you made that slogan, and then everyone was saying it. It was just crazy. So, I mean, I'm obviously biased as a comedian and rooting for you, not them, but I'm like, damn, they should have taken better care of you, because I can't imagine what the promotion money would have been, but well.
Yeah, they just, from my perspective, they don't understand their brand of like who really drinks it. They want to be more of like a classy brand. Like even if you go to their Instagram, all the pictures are like black and white and like very like suave, but it's like in reality, the consumer of it was the guy I portrayed. So
yeah, exactly.
They just weren't a fan of that image. So
wow.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
screw them. We're Natty Light and Truly from now on.
Yeah, I mean, Truly sent me literally like I think it was 48 24 packs. It was they sent me. So I still have some to this day, which is insane.
Oh, that's awesome. So, shout out to Truly.
Yeah, that video introduced me to so many more people. So after that, my shows, that's literally like Andrew Schultz was talking about a moment when he felt that shows were starting to sell out. It was when I went back on the road after the White Claw video.
Mm-hmm.
So in one sense, you missed out on the shirts, but now I have this audience out of nowhere. It's like,
well, yeah,
we love that video.
You built an audience that'll buy whatever shirt you put out for the next 10 years, hopefully. So you're right. It all worked out better for you, but they could have been cooler. So
yeah, exactly. So.
Well, that's cool. All right, let me just give you a couple more and get you out of here. I'm sure you're busy. What store would you max out your credit card at?
What store? I would probably say, I feel like the most basic answer is Target. Like, oh no.
No,
I'm very, I just get suckered into stuff that's like, if it's presented right or marketed right, I'll be like, yeah, I do need that. Basic answer is, yeah, probably that. Or let's see. Yeah, probably that, honestly. Or, yeah, I think I'll just go with that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It happened. Well, that's a close thing to my house now for like grocery wise. So I've had a couple of expensive Target trips during this quarantine for sure, where it's so basic, like you said, but we go for like 4 things, and the next thing you know, I've got 6 bags. I'm like, God damn you, Target.
Yeah, it's just like random shit too.
Yeah.
Like hang this plant on a wall. I'm like, oh, how the fuck would I buy this? But sure enough.
Yeah.
Maybe IKEA, honorable mention.
Yeah, IKEA's good, or any shoe store. I would.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm dabbling back into shoes, and I'm like, God damn it, I don't need to do this. But then I'm like, man, that's so dope on stage. And that's from
it really is.
I worked with D'Elia one weekend, and his shoe game was just so dope. And the way he wasn't a dickhead to me, but I had what I thought were kind of cool shoes, and he would just like. Yeah, I was like, all right, I got to step my shoe game up for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm working with who this weekend? Yeah, I can give you 4 shoes, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that I definitely think that now when people come through Comedy Works here, I'm like, oh, I got a couple pair of Jordans that I love, but I've saved them. I was like, damn, I want these guys I want Andrew Schultz to think I'm cool or something, so I bust out the good Jordans.
Right.
They never notice, but it makes me feel cool. All right, let me see here. All right, you got one more question for you. Let me plug everything, or you can plug everything right now. Where can everybody find you?
It's mainly Trevor Wallace on just Instagram and Facebook. Twitter is just Trev Wall. The big thing I would like to push is my own podcast that I have. It's every Wednesday. It's called Stiff Socks. It's a good time. It's just me and another comic, Michael Blaustein, if you've ever met him. And it's kind of just 2 dudes shooting the shit. Nothing too topical or controversial.
Okay. Yeah, so guys, go check out the podcast. Follow him on Instagram. I saw you went over 1 million on YouTube, which is dope. I saw you got the plaque.
Yeah, that was real neat. That was, I think that's like the most like proud one out of all of them, because not only do I think of the plaque, but it's like, I think subscribing to somebody on YouTube is like more of an act of like, you're like, I watched it, I clicked it, I subscribed. Versus Instagram, kind of like, oh, somebody tagged me in this. This is kind of funny. Why not?
Yeah. No, it's
kind of meant the most, I think.
It's a huge accomplishment, man. It's awesome. Especially comedy wise, not many guys have done it, so I think it's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Okay, let me hit you with this last question. Thank you so much for doing this, man. I know you're busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time. I knew you'd have great stories, and this was fun. So my last question, real simple. If you could script your last words before you die, what would they be?
I could script my last words. I think just some. God, it's hard because they all sound so cheesy.
Yeah.
I think just enjoy it while it lasts. I feel like I'm a victim of this myself. I think I'm so constantly in the future and not the now that whenever this all dries up for me, I'm like, damn, I should have enjoyed, having whatever followers or having these videos or having these shows. Because what's the saying? It's like you ended the same venues you started with.
Nah, don't believe that shit.
Yeah, what, yeah. Whatever.
You're climbing, man. Don't believe that shit. You know who says that is guys that are fucking. I've heard that
the guys
too.
that
But,
are currently doing that. Yeah.
but I don't see any of our heroes coming back to their old stomping ground. So I think you're just rising, man. Like I said, you're putting out the dopest shit. I think it's just beginning.
Yeah.
So don't listen to that. But it does, just from watching your social media, it seems like you're enjoying it, which I think is cool, because all of us. I mean, I know I'm rooting for you, and I think the cool comics, it's like, it's cool to see you're just fucking doing it by yourself, which is, I think you're just putting out shit, which I think, I always point to you and I point to Schultz, and I think I like what Tim Dillon's doing. I think you can just do it, just do it yourself, and you guys are doing it. So I think I'm glad you're enjoying it, but I hope this is just the start for you.
Yeah, I really hope so. I plan to just kind of keep doing what I'm doing. And I feel like just kind of, for me personally, I just want to show more comics that like, this is definitely a route you can go. And, you know, if you have a 5-minute set that Conan's booker doesn't like that shouldn't fuck you up as hard as it does for some people. So I mean, there's just so many ways you can get out there. And I think Tim Dillon and Schultz are great examples of that. I mean, granted, Tim's been on Rogan 3 times, but up until that, like, Netflix, like you kind of run with that theme. He had that 15 on Netflix and turned it into his podcast, and kind of just steady kept it moving, and just came in hot and just keep fueling the fire. And I think he's great staying on topics and times. But I think just don't get overwhelmed by like the industry side of things. But there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is, that's what I was just gonna say. The best credit you have right now is you could just be like, I'm this dope, without even doing Rogan, which I don't know if anybody else can say that has that. That'd be the greatest if a host is like, hey, what do you want me to say? You could just be like, I'm actually this dope, without ever doing Rogan's podcast. That's a kind of an inside comedy joke, but it's an incredible credit to have. So
the audience would be like, what?
That is fun. But the comics in the room would be like, oh shit, no one's done it. Well, thank you, buddy, man. I enjoyed talking to you. I will see you, hopefully get out to LA soon. Or I hope there'll be a Denver show. Well, obviously, you probably don't know what the schedule's going to be, but.
Yeah. I think one thing settled on Denver, Portland are 2 cities I know they're going to try to get on that.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well,
I get a lot of requests for, so.
Yeah. Well, we'll hang out here, or I'll see you out there. So thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Of course, man.
All right. Later, bud.
Brandt Tobler trying to expand globally. Long curly hair and a beard, but he ain't Toby Keith. You might have thought it's beef, but we gon' handle that. Stealing jerseys off of the wall like fuck Jack. Okay, he ran with that, and now he's on the loose. Put a little bit of poison in his Jamba Juice. Go ahead and drink on that, just take another sip. Need an appraisal? Shout out to Ron Huffin' Dick. The kids loving this, I know you heard it, son. The purpose is perfect, every person we learn something from. Go ahead and come along, we have a little fun. A few questions, how about 31?